Oh, there we are. Hello, everybody. I was just as shocked as probably everybody else to see the news this morning, but they have finally confirmed the ending of the transfer period for the Aeria accounts to the X Legends server. This means that any players who have not finished transferring their accounts over will lose them. They will be gone, and I strongly suspect that all of your friends that have not finished doing the transfer will also vanish out of your friends list at that time. So technically, we haven't had a purge like this since I think something along the lines of, I want to say 2016 when they did the server virtualization on the Aeria server. But since X Legend took over, there has been nothing like that. So on the other hand, they are now announcing that this purge is being done to prepare for the server merge, where all of the 4 servers will become one server. And we do have a bit of experience with that more recently, because the US server was originally 3 separate ones that got combined. So we have a little bit of experience and we know a bit of what to expect. I also published a video. It's kind of a bad one, but I wanted to get it out right away to hopefully answer the basic questions. But if you have any further questions and there's anything I can help with, please let me know. I'll do my best to assist you as soon as possible, because we are on a very tight deadline now. You don't even have 7 days. It's next Thursday morning, they're gone. So this is my normal evening run that I do, so just gonna be live here, and if you've got any questions, hit me with them. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna put on my tunes to shuffle. The same mostly Genshin soundtrack that doesn't trigger anything, and gonna run our dimension halls and bond dungeons. I'm so used to, like, lately I've been doing a lot of the low-level dimension halls to get the dimension crystals, and I'm so used to scrolling down for them. Let's see. I think the biggest thing people are going to be worried about are their names. When we transferred from Aeria to X Legend, they weren't allowed to transfer the names over for reasons that become more and more confusing to me every time somebody asks why. But they blamed it on the European Data Protection Act stuff. However, that's not the case in this one, or for this, because the servers being merged together are all under X Legends care, so you're not going to have to rename your characters unless your characters share a name with someone on one of the other servers. The criteria for who gets to keep the names, and like I said, I think this is going to be the biggest thing that's going to affect most players, is that if you have a higher level, you get first dibs on the name. If you're the same level, if either of the players are guild leaders, they will get to keep the name. And if neither of them are guild leaders, or both of them are guild leaders, second in command of a guild would be the next priority. And then after that, it would be whoever logged out most recently. So the last person to play on the character. Now, unfortunately, that does mean that by exposing all of my my alts here, I am putting myself in a position for possibly having some names stolen. But I trust that nobody's going to do anything bad, right? You guys wouldn't do that to me, right? But primarily, I do think that's going to be the concern for most people. I mean, obviously, larger concern is that after next week, anytime anyone asks if they can get their account back, the answer is going to be no, but for the active players, I think the names are going to be the tough thing. Oh, Plinko says he's going to steal my names. You know, someone DM'd me a picture of naming a character Noon, which is obviously the name of one of my my gunslinger. And I just thought, and they said they were going to make it a guild leader, so that they would steal my name. And I'm just like, you're going to start a character on a new server with nothing, make them a guild leader, and try to get them to level S35 in however long we have until the merge takes place? No, that's not going to happen. So there's the guild leader loophole. It doesn't allow people to steal your names just by becoming guild leaders. It's only if they're a higher level than you, or they're equal level to you, that guild leader status comes into effect. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking, trying to scare me. I'm pretty confident I am going to lose some names though, so it's not like I've got some kind of secret shield or something. I think I'm going to lose some names. But if nobody has any specific questions or comments about the unclaimed names, or sorry, unclaimed accounts, I am just doing my evening run. I actually do this every single night. Hello, Vargathron. Vargathron. Sorry, I'm sorry. But yeah, I do this every day at this time. I run a bunch of dimension halls and bond dungeons on a whole bunch of characters. A little bit of experience and a little bit of LP on every single one of them, and you know, a chance for those bond trophies. But not that I'm gonna get one. If anything, it'll be my my partner that'll get one because they always do. Oh my god! No wonder I couldn't see them. Oh yeah, I did turn off names because I didn't want. I mean, you can see my name. You can see my name in the corner if you decide that you would like to try and mess with me by stealing a name or two. But I think my most important ones are all unstealable. So I don't want to say good luck, like I'm challenging someone to try to, but you know. Yeah, like I'm pretty confident I'm gonna lose Dawn. Because that's such a good name, and I've only got it on a level S2 character. Whoop! That was a pretty pathetic attack. Oh no, I'm gonna make a fool of myself this evening. Yeah, these are... my alts are all in, like, miserable gear. Like, if anything, they're all gonna be in, like, 70s gear. Because they don't really need more than that, but... my main character, my bow that I do last is, I think she doesn't have any armor on right now. Eh. But yeah, I mean, like, with this many bond dungeons... I don't even have to run Vault of Eternity daily. Hey there, Chris. I have been playing for a long time. That's the main reason why my characters are all high, but on top of that, again, I'm running bond and dimension halls on every single one of them because it's the quickest thing you could possibly do for a relatively decent amount of experience. And I do this every single day. Except when I'm sick. And you can tell when someone's been leveling up by doing this because they're the indicator on their class isn't going to be gold, even though they're a relatively high level. Like if you go to your weapon mastery, you're going to see I clearly haven't actually done a lot of fighting on this character because none of my weapon mastery is actually leveled up all that high. But considering Lance is going to get a full rework next year, I think I should keep my Lance below 60. That way, once the full rework comes in, I'm like in a perfect position to test out the pre-60 and post-60 effects. And I should actually kill this thing, not just talk. So one thing that I was, so I had to work today, which is why the video that I was trying to put out ended up being mostly just a script and some B-roll in the background without many edits or anything. But the main thing I was thinking about all day at work was what can we do, even if we've already recovered our account, to take advantage of the server merge. And oh, for masteries, is it 120 for gold? I can't remember offhand. I think it's lower than that, but I'll check on one of my characters that has a gold one so you can see. Usually by the time you're S15, if you were actually fighting dungeons, you'd probably be at that, right? But yeah, so the for the merge, I was chatting with one of my friends this morning. Definitely not while I was working. Before work, nice and bright and early. And we kind of decided that it's probably in your best interest to get your hands on the support cubes on the other servers. I mean, if you've already got a character over S level 10, the second you have that character merged with the new support cube, you've got 3 extra boost cards. And all of the your inventory might get a little bit of damage from opening up that many at once. And yes, Vargathron, the all 4 of the former Aeria servers, so the English, German, French, and Spanish, they're all going to be merged together. There's a non-zero chance that that's going to be this week, or sorry, next week on Thursday. Non-zero chance. But I wouldn't bet on it. There maybe next week, maybe just in the weeks leading. What we do know is that as of next Thursday, you will not be able to recover your account if you have not done the transfer. Wait, 24k LP? No, I've got way more than that. I've got 83k. So yeah, the with that being said, in order to switch to a different server, you don't have to install another copy of the game. On the launcher, there's the little icon where if you're on the US, it says US kind of to the left of the start button. Just change that over to one of the other servers. By if you don't change the UI language in the settings, it will still be in the language of your choice. And then you can log into the other servers with your current account, make a character. You can grab the support cube right at level 1 as soon as you turn in the first quest, Import Scandia. And then, yeah, you'll have 3 copies of the support cube. So that's the cube that you can open up every 10 levels from 10 to S10. And in the S10 box, there is a boost card. So you can get your hands on 3 more boost cards for free, basically, by doing this. I mean, plus everything else that's in the box. As for those extra characters that you made, even if you've already got 20 characters, like I do, you will be able to keep those extra characters. It's not like those slots are going to be unlocked, so in the future, if they release another class, you will have to delete enough characters to get to the new cap, assuming it would be 21 characters if they release a new class, in order to be able to make it. So kind of like you'd be over-capping how many characters you're allowed to have, if that makes sense. I feel like I did a better job of explaining this inside the other video that I did, because I did take some time to script it out. But back in the day when we had the US server merge within Aeria, I made, how many Holy Swords? I made enough holy swords to fill my entire account. So I had like 25 characters. And I think at that time it was like 7 or 8 of them were just level 1 holy swords. And I could have logged into each one of those individually and leveled them up. But when the next class was released after that, I had to delete all of them and then use another slot expansion in order to get the ability to make that new class. So it's something to consider, but for example, if you just want to have more inventory space to store stuff, you get up to 9 extra characters now. 9 extra characters if you don't want to go through the motions of actually unlocking extra slots on those accounts. I think in total they said you can get up to 64? Please don't do that. Value your health more than leveling up 64 characters. There's no way anyone could get that high. Okay, so I think as long as the total of your 2 paths is 120, which is 60 and 60, the icon does turn gold. But as you can see here, even though I've got 65-55, it's still gold because the total is 120. Yeah, perfect character to test it on. What else is in the support cubes? It's like gear sets, which aren't great, but you could star up the level 90 ones without much effort if you use those. Shirayuki key, you can sell that for Eidolon coins and get yourself... Oh geez, how many Eidolon coins is a Shirayuki? Shirayuki... key is... Oh, 100 Eidolon coins, that's not too shabby. I wouldn't sneeze at that. They also said that if any of your Eidolons are duplicated, this is excluding the starters. So if any of your Eidolons are duplicated across accounts, like you'd actually played on one of the other accounts, the keys as well as the any of the evolution materials that you had given them, like beads or rings, will be returned to you in the mail. But unfortunately, I mean, keys can't be traded as is, and the only way to break a key apart into fragments is using the Adventure Encyclopedia. And I did test, or rather I got some assistance testing before, if you have a full key, even if those fragments would be tradable, once you break it apart, those fragments, because they're from the Adventure Encyclopedia, are not tradable. So it's not like you're going to be able to get a extra copy of a key if you happen to be playing seriously on multiple accounts. But you will be able to sell them for Eidolon tokens, which is not... nothing. I mean, it's not... rather have an 8-star Eidolon than a extra 300 Eidolon coins, I suppose. Well, yeah, I suppose I could mention about guilds. I don't know if there's any active guilds that have the same name on multiple servers. But unlike names, where there's several different battling criteria to determine which one gets to keep the name, for guilds it's just the older guild gets to keep it, and the newer guild will lose that name. So you're not going to be able to steal any guild names, that's for sure. Now, unlike with characters that get forced to be renamed, if you have a guild that ends up getting not saving it, and unfortunately it'll have to be done by a ticket. Your guild leader's going to have to send in a ticket to get the guild renamed to something that isn't whatever they decide to put it as. I think they said they were going to add another character to the end of it. Everything is difficult for newbie without help from old B. Do you have any advice? I have videos. The videos that I've put out trying to help new players, the intention is that it's got a repository of data that you can access at any time, like especially the different kinds of stats and what they do and all the different archives and how to get bonus stats from them. I do recommend you check out the guides videos that I've got there. And if there's any further questions on top of that, I strongly recommend the Discord because there's all sorts of players in there that have all sorts of experience for specific classes especially, which is something that, as you've probably noticed, I haven't done any specific guides for classes so far. And the reason behind that is because I don't think I have enough experience with individual classes to do that for the most part. Which you probably think is weird when you see how many characters I'm playing, but I don't bother to learn the rotations of every single class, especially if I'm just using them for dimension halls and testing bugs right now. And also, hello, Stilo. Thank you again for letting me know about the missing the missing oddity map thing. I cannot believe I missed that. I even had the notes for it half done. Oh, I'm glad they helped, Vargathron. Also, if you notice that I'm not waiting for directions on these statues, you can always predict the order. For the side that I go, the statue on the right moves to the left. The statue that was here moves there. Yeah, they just shuffle over by one. And on the last character, my main one, which normally has gear, but today does not, we're going to run all of the bond dungeons. So specific class details, with regards to specific class details, I have been trying to talk to people that are like masters of their class to get tips that I can share and put together into a video. But unfortunately, so far, the only class aside from the ones that I am super comfortable on already, which is like Warbow and Whip, the only one that I've been able to successfully get like a very detailed rundown of all the rotations is Sorcerer. And I think Sorcerer is kind of falling out of favor, but it's still a really strong class. But lately when people ask what class they should pick when they're starting, I tend to recommend Wizard, because it's shocking how wonderful Wizard has become since the rework that they got a little while back. And theirs wasn't even like the super fancy big rework. They didn't get any new animations or anything. They just got reworks to the type of skills they have, and they're just, I mean, they've got heals, they've got high damage, they've got a ridiculously high crit ceiling because they start 100 higher than any other class. They're easy to build, they're fun, they do a lot of damage, and they're ranged. No, Wizard is a great class. If you haven't picked your class yet, pick Wizard. Oh, one more. I keep running out of Dimension Hall while there's still one more boss left. Doesn't help that I'm not super focused on it. Oh yeah, maybe I'll show you when I get it. Oh, congratulations there, my dear friend. Duelist isn't really high in favor, but what people don't know about Duelist is that it has the ability to have the highest single-hit nuke in the entire game. And I don't think there's even any question about it. It takes a lot of setup, but it has the potential to do an absolutely absurd amount of damage in a single hit. When I get to my Duelist, I'll actually go ahead and just explain it here. Wait, why am I dying? But I was gonna, as Plinko mentioned there, Wizard also has auto attacks, like the basic attacks, so fast that if you're one-shotting the mobs, you don't even dismount because you haven't even entered combat by the time it's dead. So you just stay on it. I think Holy Duelist is the, oh, did I get one? Yeah, I was right. I think Holy Duelist is the one that I'm thinking of because Holy Duelist is the butterfly stack, right? Physical is a little bit harder for newer players to build because there's not as many sources of physical damage. But in the long term, you can switch over to physical after you've been able to get together like a physical Eidolon or something. And by a physical Eidolon, I think New Year's Queen of Hearts is really the only option. Oh, I'm not the party lead this time. My party member didn't realize that they're the ones that started the party this time. I think Nunchuck was the class I'm on right now. A lot of people find it quite underwhelming. It feels a little bit odd to use, so I wonder whether or not I would need to, like, I don't know if there's any master nunchucks that I'd be able to speak to try to find out more about how the rotations should be working, because when I'm playing it, I just spend the whole time thinking, oh, well, I mean, it doesn't help that I literally have no armor on. But yeah, I feel like I should probably put a little more effort into learning the optimal rotation. And why are my skills grayed out? I don't know, weapon equipped. Alright, it appears that a couple of my skills aren't very happy. Usually when if that happens and your skills get messed up like that, if you just drag another copy in, they should fix. Alright, what class next? Actually, I know I do this every night, but I can never remember the order of my classes. I think Duelist? No. Yeah, I was just on Nunchuck, so Duelist next. If it lets me in. Yeah, I think it froze. Oh, no, just in time. I was about to give up. Sometimes when I change character a whole lot, especially when I try to do it really fast, it lags out a bit. Alright, back in action. So on Duelist, for Holy, what you want to do is build up butterfly stacks, then somersault, and release them with the dancing battle song. And if ideal, oh no, I guess the oh yeah, I guess you still want to get some snowflowers in there too for the debuffs. But this dancing battle song, I think that it has the highest potential for any single hit in the game. Now, if we take a look at my gear, you'll see that I'm in a relatively bad set. I've got my level 70 armor on, and the accessory set you get when you make a boost character. So, pretty pathetic gear set. I know I have Archive. But yeah, this character can do some pretty impressive nukes despite missing a whole lot of gear. So as you use skills, you build up the butterfly dance stacks, and then you expend them with dancing battle song to take out anything in front of you. Like seriously, it's if you're looking for a one-shot nuke, that's the best one in the game. Duelist's other thing they do is mostly stacking debuffs on the target, not quite to the same level as like a source would, but they do have a lot of dots on their skills, and I believe they added in the refresh that they had the ability to like buff up stacks, but yeah, the main thing that Duelist doesn't have is the ability to hit a lot of targets at once, the AoE, and it also makes it a little bit slower for gathering up mobs inside dungeons because you don't have a lot of range, and using Bard Sub doesn't help in the slightest with that. But let's see. I got 4 stacks, so let's see if I, yeah, there you go. Pretty big hit. Pretty big hit. Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, so, Dancing Balisong started doing damage here in my chat list thing here and continued to here, here, here. So all of that chat that I just scrolled through there, sorry, that I know it's probably hard for you to see, but all of that chat there was all just that one skill doing its bonus hits and whatnot. But yeah, as Plinko said, the ideal sub for just nuking stuff, Bard is nice because you could... I made a whole video about it. I made a whole video about why Bard is a nice sub that makes it very easy to put yourself in an ideal position for nuking, as well as Shinobi. Those are the 2 ideal subclasses that work with basically anything. Anyway, I'm just gonna take a moment here on my wizard. Actually, we'll do it at the Dimension Hall. We'll do it at the Dimension Hall. So this is my wizard. This is actually the first character I ever made in the game. Man, if they had a criteria where whoever made the character first was the one who got to keep it, this one would be 100% safe. I'm just gonna run over here. So as you can see, I've got my fancy mount. And if you one-shot a mob, you do not even dismount. It's like the auto attacks are so fast that you don't dismount. It's not cheating, I swear. Anyway, I need to get to the dungeon entrance, so we're looking for Dawn Passage. There we go. Oh. There. Whoa. Deer. I don't even know what gear I've got on this mission. I don't even have one of my trophies. Yeah, I keep a pretty mixed hodgepodge of gear on everybody just because they don't need to be perfectly geared to be able to get through the run. But I just wanted to point out here that the base cap for crit damage on a wizard is 400 instead of 300. So you can see here, if you can read it. I don't have Agni on this character. I'm using an Eternal set for some reason that I don't know. Probably just because it was handy. But even then, with a relatively mediocre set of gear, it's not like I'm even filling up Wizard's base crit damage cap. So, for new players especially, Wizard is a nice choice because they don't need the fancy gear that everybody else does. Well, I mean, yeah, the Eternal set is good for a pen boost. That might actually help me in Sky Tower tomorrow. Actually, I was thinking, should we live stream Sky Tower tomorrow? I guess 5% pen isn't really valuable enough for my purposes anymore, but back in the day, I really needed that. You see how fast those attacks are going? by the time you see the animation, it's actually already hit the enemy. Wizard's just nuts. Ooh, sorry about the light show. I need to get out of there. Now, this has kind of turned into more just me talking about each class as I get to them. But of course, if you have any questions about the about claiming your account, or if you need help with the tickets or anything, or if you need assistance interpreting the notes that they have in the news post, please let me know. But if everybody's doing okay with regards to that and still just kind of stomaching the news and coming to and reading through the notes, for the time being, I guess I'll just keep on talking about what I like about each class. This is Starcaller, Jib. It was the first one released that could only be played as the small body type, and for the longest time, it's been considered one of the most powerful classes. But it does suffer a little bit in terms of rounding up mobs as you're going through the dungeon. Like, it does have ranged attacks, but at the same time, they're not perfect for gathering up mobs the same way that some of the other ranged classes are. Like Stellar Sphere, great range, great AoE, grabs everything. But for Starcaller, your only AoE is really Nebula, which is also your big hitter skill. So when you're using that one, it's probably going to be versus bosses, which I'm not going to do here because I don't want to one-shot the boss. Not that I'm really in one-shotting here either. Like I said, most of my characters are on pretty pathetic gear sets right now because I don't really need more than that, and I try to run on all of these every day. Whoop. Oh shoot, Paragon updated. I didn't update it in the Discord. Hold on, let's take a look. Poseidon. Oh, the barefoot costume. You want to be on your toes all day. If you were to ask me if this is a good Paragon for making money, I would hesitantly say yes, because Poseidon fragments had a really high rate last time. I managed to get Poseidon on a table that looked quite similar to this, so if it's like last time and Poseidon is very pretty and people like her, maybe a good sell. Oh, I don't have any. I'll update it in the Discord after we finish the stream, or yeah. Can I do it right now? Hold on. Sorry, I just feel like I should do this because I do it every day, right? November 16th, 2024. There we go. Oh, and I accidentally hit the key that removes my desk. Sorry about that. The hotkey that removes my desk is the 0 on the numpad. Alright, 2 left. And like I said, on my last character, I run all of them. Oh shoot, do I have to... Oh, I guess you're gonna see our little trick for the Bond dungeon in what is it? Candio Core today. haven't been remembering to use charms on every single one, but I may as well. Using a charm doesn't act... Oh shoot, I don't know why I got a quest book. This one's Cap. Using a charm doesn't increase your chances of getting a bond trophy because those are listed under the extra drops. But because this is my main source of LP, I still use one every day. When I remember. Guns! What do I like about guns? I mean, obviously I like guns. Not only is it S35, it's been properly leveled up. It's fast. Tornadoes are cool. Storm damage is easy to build. There was a lot of Eidolons that I got for storm damage. And it's fast. I think the fact that it's fast and has really good AoE is probably one of my favorite things about it. Yeah, I think Gun has a yeah, 20% move speed right on the middle node. Anyway, with this character being S level 35, you might think I wouldn't do Dimension Hall, but you'd be wrong. So, on the lower level Dimension Halls, and by that I mean the ones under under S1, so 95 and down, you get these crystals every time you complete one. And also anything 65 and under, you don't need another player to complete. You can do them on your own. You'll be able to unlock all of the stones now. Over 65, you still need other players, but... oh dear. Somebody's in world chat. Oh, and I don't have any megaphones. They're gonna make me buy a megaphone? Hello, Richardo and Adrenaline! I was just finishing up this DH35 so I could show the dimension crystals. So I'll just pop into the store here. With dimension crystals, you can get these 5 different titles. Each one has 10 to all stats, so once you get all 5 of them, it's 50 to all stats. I know it's not a lot, but it's stats. I like free stats. I've actually got all of them except the 3rd dimension one now. So I did 360, I did 180, I did 60, I did 30. But I actually run Dimension Hall 35 on 10 characters a day, so it's a little bit easier than doing a 360 days worth of Dimension Halls, but if the merge does happen next week, I suppose I could use all those extra characters on Dimension Hall 20 to get it done. Oh, and hello for what? Oh, and thanks, Richardo. We're actually just starting on the final leg of my evening run, so if you have any questions that you wanted to ask about the unclaimed accounts or about the merge, please try to get them in, because we're probably about 20 minutes left until I'm done and need to go to bed. Hey, TikTok and YouTube, what do you mean by TikTok? I'm too old for TikTok. Alright, we're gonna start with Alabastron. So, about to make a fool of myself because, as you can see, my gear is rather lacking. Alright, so I guess I'll talk through these spawned dungeons just because may as well. For this first section, I am waiting for my partner to confirm which one of these robots I need to take care of. So we'll use 1 to short circuit them and then 3 to hack it after they tell me which one to hack. And again, because I don't have any armor on, these guys are going to hit pretty hard. Normally for this section, by defeating these robots, I get a pop-up in my screen that says what the answer is. I'm not... Adrenaline, I know what you're saying about trying to share it with more people, but just... I can't TikTok. I cannot do it. I have an addictive personality, and I just know that if I turned it on, like if I tried to go on there, I'd be toast. Yep. And speaking of being toast, I think I'm toast. Yeah, that's fine. On this boss, though, if you die while you're fighting him, it will trigger a massive dot against all players. So that's why we use Persephone here, to make sure that we don't take any damage on this boss. Alright, what's next? So that's the first one down. The next one should be Candio Core. So this is the one where we kind of cheat. So in this dungeon, to start, you've got to activate the cubes in the right order. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on in the chat now. But I gotta focus on the cubes. Oh, I didn't... Oh yeah, I guess she is. I didn't get a chance to talk about Grenadier because I played it first. The new Gren rework has made them into a much more viable class. They have the ability to bounce lightning, which makes them great for clearing out mobs in dungeons. You can gather them up quite easily. It's got massive AoE on one of its skills, and that one doesn't even require a target, which makes it quite nice to use. But in general... I mean, I would be hard-pressed to say that it's a, like, top-tier DPS, but I do like the playstyle for it, and they've increased the ways, that you can get buffs to different elements on it, so as long as you, like, really aim for a specific element, like, for example, if you wanted to go for fire or physical or lightning, as long as you focus on the skills that do that, I think it's really competitive, and especially compared to some of the classes that haven't had any kind of rework at all. Oh, and thanks for complimenting my characters. I guess this is where I get to say something really trivia-ish. The reason why the colors on my model are a little bit weird is because actually, the place where I took the screenshot that I made this VTuber avatar model thing was in here when the light was kind of odd. I used a screenshot from here because I was just sitting here while my partner made use of Persephone to skip the part where I have to do anything. But yeah, if I just take off the hair, there you go. That's me. But I do like this hair because it's got the flowers. I guess I didn't actually reveal the secret of how that gets done, because everything exciting happened on the other side. Michael M., it's the last week. This is the absolute last week. So every Steam account was linked to an Aeria account at some point. So technically, your account still exists right now. So if you don't know what email was associated with the Aeria account associated with your Steam account, and I'm assuming that that's the case, because that's a lot of degrees of separation that make it probably very likely that you do not have access or even know what email it was, considering how long ago it was. Gather up all the information you have and go to the website and file a ticket right now under the account recovery category, because it is still possible But as of Thursday morning next week, it will not be possible. That is when the final deadline is that they're going to delete it. Where are we going next? Titan Street. Yeah, it's your last chance. That's kind of why I was trying to get as much attention as possible today, in case there's anybody that's like last minute thinking maybe they want to recover, even if they don't want to play right now. Like, even if you don't want to play right now, I would strongly recommend trying to recover your account. Send the ticket. Check the video that I made as well, because I gave some more advice about different things that you could try adding into your ticket to maybe increase your chances of being able to get it. And I need to focus here. But yeah, as of next Thursday, all Steam accounts that have not been recovered will be gone. After you did the transfer, you logged into an account that had 0 characters. There's also a non-zero chance that you were on the wrong server. Maybe, like, is it possible the Steam client should be on should have been on the US server. So if you double check your yeah, manual recovery is when you go file a ticket and provide them with as much information as you can. That would be, and then once they can link you up to your account, they'll provide you with a token, and you can use that token to transfer it over. But like I said, that all has to happen before Thursday next week. I really wish they had given us like 2 weeks notice at the very least. Richado, you are free to take screenshots, I guess, but like I said, I'm just running my evening dungeons, and then I'm gonna be heading off for the night because I have an early morning tomorrow. And I am thinking I would like to wait to run another live stream tomorrow in case there are any further questions or whatnot. But I'll announce that tomorrow because it's been a long day for me. Logged into account with 0 characters. Oh, man, I really wish, yeah, I really wish they had given us more notice. 98 to S1. The biggest source of experience you're going to get is Dimension Hall. And you want to make sure that you're running it with a with one of the experience boost books, because that's your single largest boost of experience in a day. If you can run dungeons, like especially party dungeons, do that, because it's basically experience that is unlimited, provided that you get dungeon entrances, like you get in the dungeon entrances at every reset. After that, daily quests. And I strongly recommend doing daily quests before dungeons, because they've actually reduced all of the counts for how many things you need to do, like how many mobs you need to kill. So they're a lot faster now. And the contents of the boxes that you get for completing them are actually worth opening below S level. Oh, this boss dungeon. How many white ore is the first one? 1, 2, 3. Did I count this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. There's 4. I gotta do a party chat. Okay, so in this dungeon, the moles drive me insane because I know I count them right and it still comes back as the wrong answer. And I hate it. It's not my fault. And if it happens this time, at the very least, my my partner here can come back to the VOD and be like, "Oh, actually, you did count it right," and believe me for once, because I get the feeling they don't believe me when I give them the number and then it turns out to be wrong. Shoot, I think I missed one of the Yeah, okay, we're on colors of moles. I missed the chat there. I was distracted by being mad at moles. So I can see 2 red, 1 white, 1 black. But the maximum number of moles that you can have is 5. And they like to hide in the walls. So if the question is how many different colored moles are there, right now my answer is 3. But if that turns out to be wrong, it means there's a mole in the walls. It appears that it was not wrong. Wolf statues and blonde ore. Right. Gotta give those statues a good look in the face to see what kind they are. I don't see any wolf statues. 1, 2, the gold ore or blonde ore likes to hide in the bushes, so I see 3 blonde ore. That should be good. And the other thing, of course, about this dungeon is that you have to... Oh, yes, Adrenaline. The music is from Genshin Impact because it's it doesn't get claimed. And I think it's less repetitive than Aura Kingdom music. And I have a tendency to just listen to it anyway. I hope you don't mind. The funny thing, actually, about the music is that I have it boosted to 700% because when I had it any lower than that, it wasn't even audible in the stream. But if I turn it up any higher on my part, like in my ears, it hurts my ears. So I've got it on like 1% playing to me, and then that's boosted 700% to the stream. Oh, I guess I haven't done it because I was getting distracted by the moles. But if you use Persephone or any Eidolon that will give you a status immunity, you can freeze your miasma temporarily, but you can't clear it. So you can use that to get a little bit more leeway on the transferring the miasma back and forth in this one. And if that doesn't make any sense, I do have a guide for this dungeon separate that you could check out if you were looking for a proper guide. Oh, sorry, and I missed the thing here. Hello, Pumpkin! If you're a fan of Aura Kingdom, now is the ideal time to come back because the servers are about to be merged. About to be a lot of people. Alright, but we are almost done here. As I said, I figured it would be about an hour. One last dungeon left, and then we head over to... which dungeon do we head to? Dimension Hall 45, because that's where the barista is, and I could go for a coffee. And, again, just as a reminder, I do not have any armor on, that's why I'm not doing much. Thanks, Adrenaline. I'm trying to make it as accessible to people as possible because when games get this old, I know it becomes challenging to even try and get started. And of course, you can't really understand the new player experience unless you live the new player experience, so that's why I actually play, and I still do play every day on my Scrub account, which I started, I guess, was it this year or last year? I think it was this year. Completely from scratch. And obviously I don't play her as much as my main account, but at the very least I hope that I can still accurately represent the current state for new players by being a new player at the same time. But this is about the end of the stream here. So thanks everybody for coming out. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I did release a news video about everything that I thought was relevant information for people that are going into this unclaimed account purge and the merge. If you think of anything else that you think players should do before the merge, please drop it in the comments of that video, because I'd love it if it was just a great place for people to go to get like ideas on how they can be ready and make the most out of this opportunity. As for tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I'll be busy, but I am thinking that if Transcendent is going to be running the Hero Sky Tower, I may live stream that again with the intention of being available to answer questions live for people, provided I'm not distracted by having to actually do the raid. Well, we'll have to see on that though, so I'll announce that tomorrow morning after my morning business. So if there's any last questions, get them out now, because you've probably got 60 seconds. Starting now. Okay, when I said I have business in the morning, it said I'm going to a cafe. I am going out bright and early to a cafe and buying a coffee. That's my reset for the week after a long work week. By which I mean a regular work week where I work the regular number of days. Thanks for coming out, Adrenaline, and of course everybody else here. This is the part of the day where he's wearing a bag on his head, but you know it's Plinko. Me commit murder. I was gonna say, if the duel restarted fast enough with the well, now it's on footage. And now he's got it in footage. He can play it back anytime he wants. I don't know how long I'm going to keep up the VOD, or maybe I'll cut that part out. But again, thanks so much for coming out. We chatted a bit about classes, so if you were interested in a couple different classes, I hope that was helpful for you. And in the meantime, like I said, check out the video that I put out with the details. I've also got links to the transfer page as well as the news post itself for more info. And if you have any questions, please Discord comment section. I will be doing my best to reply to everything as soon as possible, just to make sure that I can get out information to as many people as possible. With that being said, I really appreciate you guys coming out here tonight, and we'll catch you next time, maybe tomorrow.